Hi all. In this lecture we will see sets. So how to create the sets, how to modify the sets, how to remove elements from a set, all will be covered in this lecture. So first of all we will see what is a set. So we have already seen, you might have already studied set theory in mathematics. It is the same that will be used in this Python also. So sets are used to store multiple items in a single variable. So we have already seen a list and tuple. So in list and tuples also we can store multiple items in a single variable. Similar to tuples and lists, sets are also used to store multiple items in a single variable. The difference is set is an unordered and unindexed collection of items. There in the case of tuple and list, it is ordered. We can index using indexing operator. We can access any particular element using the indexing operator. But in the case of set, it is unordered and unindexed. There is no particular order and we cannot use any indexing mechanism to access the elements of the set. Then every set element is unique. That is, in sets we cannot have any duplicates. But in the case of list and tuples, we can have duplicate elements also. But in the case of set, every element is unique. No duplicates are allowed in this set. And set elements are immutable. So we cannot change the elements of the set. So it is immutable. So set elements are immutable. That is, elements cannot be changed. But set itself is mutable. That is, we can change the set as a whole. If we want to add some elements into the set, it is possible. Or if we want to remove some elements from the set, it is possible. But set elements are immutable. We cannot modify the first element or second element, cannot be modified inside the set. But the whole set can be muted or can be changed. Sets can be used to perform mathematical set operations. So you know all the mathematical set operations like union, intersection, difference, all those operations. All those operations can be performed in the sets also. In Python sets also we can perform using you can use methods to or methods of functions to, or even operators can be used to perform all these mathematical set of operations. So we will see that in the next lecture. Then sets can have any number of items. So it can have any number of items. The number of items can vary. So maybe of different types also. Sets can store of any data type. So it can be integer type, it can be float, it can be tuples. We can store tuples inside a set, or we can store strings inside a set. So any type of items can be stored in the set. But sets cannot have mutable elements like list, sets, or dictionary as its elements. So we cannot have mutable elements like list, sets, or dictionaries. So dictionaries we will be studying later. So we have already seen list. So we cannot have list as an element inside a set, or we cannot have a set inside a set. So that is not possible. But we can have tuple. Tuple is immutable element. We have already studied tuples are immutable, but list is mutable because list elements can be modified, but tuple elements cannot be modified. So we can have any immutable data types as elements. We cannot have mutable elements as elements of a set. So integer, float, tuple, string, all are mutable elements. Immutable elements. We cannot change those elements. So such kind of element can be members of set. Okay. So next is how to create sets. So we can use this curly braces or curly braces to separate it by comma, or we can use the set constructor to create these sets. So we will see some examples and you will understand. Okay. So we'll create some set. So anything can be stored. So if we are creating my set 23, 45, 56, 77. So I have stored 4 elements. So this is my set. You can see this my set will contain these elements. So it is done you create using braces, this curly braces. So you have to use braces separated by commas. then you will, this is a set. This is the same symbol you use in maths also. This braces will be used to store sets. And you can have any number of elements, and also you can have any type of elements. So if you want to store an integer, then if you want to store a floating point value, or if you want to store a string, or if you want to store a tuple can be stored because it is immutable. So tuple can be stored. So all these elements can be stored. So if you check this set, it will be like this. My set will be like this. So these are the elements of that set. So set, my set. So there is no particular order. So we have created like this. And when we check this elements, the elements are in a different order. So 23 is not first now. 23 has become first. That is why there is no indexing is not possible in the case of set. It can be of any order. It can return any type of order. It may change in the next type. It may change the order also. So that is why indexing is not possible. Okay. So we can have immutable elements. We can have immutable elements only as set members or set elements. Okay. Then also we have seen we can have, we'll try with another example. Okay. We'll see how to create using set construct. I'm creating a new set, my set 1 equal to. So if I want to create, so we can create using this constructor. So you're using this constructor, you can create this set, and that set element, that set constructor should have should be something iterable item. There should be, so it is defined. So it should have some iterable item, or it should be an empty set. So it should be an iterable item. So iterable item means this list is an iterable item. So you can create like this. So if I create like this, then my set 1, if you check my set 1, it will be 45 and 23. So it should be iterable items. So it should be iterable items, and only you can use this. And you can store any elements. My set 2 equal to set. This is a constructor, and it should be an iterable item. So I am using 34, 45 point, 46.8. Then you can store any string. Okay, like this you can create this set. Then you can check this my set too. Then you find all these elements. So these three elements will be there. Okay, in this way you can create this sets. Okay, this is the way how to create the sets using all these things. And also you can include tuples also. Using tuples also you can use this constructor. My set equal to set of, I'm using a tuple. So I can have any number of elements, 45, 86, anything can be, so 85. So this is another set I am created using a tuple, using the constructor. So these are the elements of this set. Okay. And then if I want to create a string, like I set equal to set of, I'm simply giving a string only. So we'll see what it happens. I'll give it as my set of 4 equal to set of Python. Now if you check my set of 4, it will be like this. So there is no particular order. We have given a string, and all the characters will be stored as elements in the set. So and there is no particular order. It is all different in different order. It cannot be called that it is the same order or the reverse order. It is of different order. So that is why we cannot index these sets. Okay. And also if I try to store, I will show another example, my set 4. I'll give my set of 4, and I'm trying to create a set with 1, 2, then 7, 4. Again, I'm giving 7, 8. I'm giving again 9. I'll give 8, 9. Like this, I'm trying to create. So I'll check. So my set 4 contains elements 1, 2, 7, 4, 7, 8, 8, 9. So here 7 and 8 are repeated 2 times. But when you check my set of 4, you will have only 1, 7 and 1, 8. That's the case of set. Though duplicate elements are not allowed in a set. So even if you add duplicate elements won't be stored in a set. It will have only unique elements. That's what I have mentioned. So it will contain only unique elements. Okay. Now if I try to create a set with my set, let me call it 5. Let it be 5. My set of 5 equal to, I am creating with a list. I am trying to create with a list. So here I have included two integers, and another element is a list. So if I try to create, it will be an error because it is list. So it is a mutable thing. So mutable elements cannot be included when you create like this. So if you are creating something like this, it is not possible to create a set with a list because it is a mutable thing. So we can create a set only using immutable elements, immutable data types. Okay, immutable data types. So it is not possible to create like this. Now, next we will try to create an empty set. How to create an empty set? Okay. See, we will try to create an empty set. My set of 6 equal to, now I am trying to create an empty set. So I am simply giving like this. Okay, I have created an empty set like this. Now we have already seen that type thing, type. You have you can check using this type. So you can simply type and see this function. What is this data type? You can see using my set of 6. So if you try this one, you can find it. It is a dictionary. It is not actually a test. We have already seen the tuple case also. You cannot create an empty tuple like this or single member tuple like this. It will become a string. So if you want to create an empty set, it is not possible to create like this. Simply giving an empty braces won't be a set. It will become only a dictionary. So if you want to create a thing like this, if you want to create something like this, then what you have to do is my set 6 equal to, then you have already seen it. You have to use the set constructor and create like this. Now if you type of my set 6, you can see that it is of set type. So if you want to create an empty set, it is not possible to create using braces. So, but you have to use a constructor and simply give no elements inside that set constructor. Then automatically this will become a set, empty set. So it is an empty set now. Now if you check, my set 6 will be an empty set. So this is set. This means it's an empty set. There are no elements in that set. So in this way you can create an empty set. Okay. Now let's go back into the slide. So this way we have seen many examples. So these are some of the examples. My set, how to create this my set. Then fruits we have seen already. We can create a set like this by giving different types of strings. Here we are giving string, an integer, and a floating point value. If you print like this, you can find out this. Then you are giving a tuple like this, and the elements will be like this, and the set elements will be like that. Here we are giving a list here. Using the set constructor, we are giving a list here. Then the elements will be like this. There won't be any list that will be stored in the thing. Then you are trying to create something like this, my set equal to set of Python. If you are giving a simple string like this, then the elements will be like this. Then if you are trying to create duplicate elements, all those duplicate elements will be removed. This is an example of a list inside the list. We are trying to create a set using this list. It is not possible, it will return an error. This is example for empty set creation we have already seen. Next is modifying a set. How to modify a set. So set elements are immutable, but set itself can be is a mutable thing. The whole set can be muted, or we can add or delete some elements. So we will see how to add and remove. So sets are mutable. The set as a whole is a mutable thing, but the elements are immutable. Elements cannot be changed. So unordered, because as since sets are mutable, it is unordered also. We cannot use that indexing mechanism to access any elements. Indexing is not possible because it is unordered. So it has no meaning at all. So we cannot access or change an element of a set using indexing or slicing. We have seen indexing, slicing in list and tuple and all. Strings also we have seen the slicing and all. So cannot say access or change an element of a set using indexing or slicing because it's unordered. So we do not know which is the first element or second element. It's not possible to access those elements using the indexing operator or using the slicing mechanism. We cannot slice this set. Okay. So if we want to add a single element, we have to use add method. But we can mute the set. That is what I have mentioned here. Sets are mutable. So we want to add some element, you can use a add method. So single element, if you want to add a single element, you can use this add method. Okay, add is a method. Then if you want to add multiple elements, you can use update method. So in order to add multiple elements, you have to use update method, and for single element, you can use add. So update method can take tuples, lists, strings, or other sets as its arguments. So update method can take tuples, list, strings, or other sets as its arguments. That's the case. So if tuples can store many elements, so if you use update method, you can simply add a tuple value to a set. So you can add a multiple number of elements to a set, or list you can add, or strings you can add to a set. Okay, we will see some examples and you will understand how to do this. Okay. So my set, I will take my set one. Let me see. So my set one contains 45 and 23. So if you want to add some element, my set one dot add. You simply use this add method. So add is a method. So we should have a data. We should contain, it should be called using a data object. We have already seen this different types of method. So add is a method. So if you want to add some element, simply you have to call using this add, and if you want to add a single element, you can simply add like this, my set one dot add. Then if you check my set one, then the result will be 56 will be added to the set. So there is no particular order, it can be added to any element. Okay, now we will see how to use this update. So if we want to update is also a method. So it have a data object. Now we can have elements. So the thing that should be passed is it can be a list, it can be a tuple, or it can be a string also. So I'll try with a tuple. So I am going to add some elements using tuple. So 34, then 12, 45. I am adding using a tuple. Now if I check my set 1, you will find these three elements also. 34, 45, 12 and 45 will be added, but 45 won't be added because 45 is duplicate. Already this set has 45, so 45 won't be, only 145 will be there. Okay, in this way you can update it. Then if you want to add, I have already mentioned, you can add any type of elements. You can add tuples, list, or anything can be added. So I will add something else. My set one dot update. So you can add anything. So you can add, if you want to add a list, it is possible. List elements. So list elements will be added. Then if you want to add another set, it is possible. So I'll change the elements. I'll change 11 and 8. I'll change the elements to, I'm adding another set also to then 100 and 101. So this is another set. I want to have another couple can also be included in this 9, 6. Okay. So this is update method. Now if you check my set 1, it will contain all these elements. So what I have done is I have updated the set using a list with 2 elements. So these 2 elements will be added. Then I am including a set itself. So 3 elements will of this set will be added. Then another tuple is also there. So those tuple will also be added. So in this way, I have increased the number of elements in this set. So this is possible. Okay. Now we'll go back to the slide. So this is some example. So we have already seen my set and how to add a single element. Then we have already seen how to add update using list, or we can update using list set, or some tuple, or everything can be added. Okay. Now how to remove elements from a set. Next is how to remove elements. So we know how to add. Next we can remove elements also. We can remove elements from a set also. So an item can be removed from a set using 2 different methods. One first method is we call it as discard method, and second is remove method. We can use any of these methods to remove elements. This is also a method. Okay, you have to call using a data object. The difference between these two are discard function leaves a set unchanged if the element is not present in the set. Okay, discard elements will discard. What it does is it leaves the set unchanged even if the element is not present in the set. But when you use this remove method, will raise an error in such a condition if element is not present in the set. So if element is not present, then it will raise an error, remove. We will see the difference. You will see one example, then you will understand how to do this. Okay. So this is my set. Now I want to remove something. My set 1 dot discard. I want to remove some element. Discard. I will discard 50 for 12. Any element can be removed. So I am just discarding this element. Now if you check my set 1, that 12 won't be there. Okay. Now I can use the remove method also. My remove, I am using remove method to remove any of the element. I will remove 8. Okay. Now if you check my set 1, that 8 won't be there. 8 has been removed. So you can use discard or remove to delete element. Now we will see the difference between these two. Now I am trying to remove an element. My set 1 called discard, using discard an element which is not present. So 1000. So 1000 is not there in the set. So if I try to remove 1000, nothing will happen. If I check this, my set, but nothing has happened because 1000 is not there. There's no error. But if I try to use my set 1 dot remove of 1000, if I try to remove an element using remove which is not present in the set, what happens is there will be an error. An error will be there, key error will be there because that element is not present. So that is the difference between discard and remove. So if the element is not present, discard, nothing will happen if you use this discard method. But if you use remove method, an key error will occur. So this is the difference between discard and remove. Okay. Okay, we will see the slide. So these are some of the examples. So key error. So how to use this discard and remove. We have already seen this thing. Then how to use the difference between this discard and remove. Next is pop and clear method. So pop and clear. So as we know that sets are unordered. So no way of determining which item. We have already seen this pop when we studied this list and all. So the one element will be popped out. So similarly here also some element will be popped out. So if we use this pop, so pop method, we'll try with the same set. My set 1, these are the elements. So if you try to use this pop method, my set 1 dot pop, you have to simply mention this pop. So if you pop that, any of these elements can be removed. We cannot say with this element will be the first element or the last element will be removed. any of the elements will be removed. Next time if I try to remove, so if I check my set 1, it will contain these elements. Again, if I try to pop using the same pop method, my set 1, okay. My set 1 dot pop, so 2 has been removed. So it is not the case that the first element will be removed. Any of the elements can be removed. So in this way, you can pop those elements. Sorry. Okay. So this way you can pop the element. So I have shown this my set 1. So if you pop this, any of the elements will be removed. Here 34 has been removed. In the second, again I am trying to pop another element. My set 1 dot pop. Then 2 will be removed. It can be any element. It may not be the first element itself. It can be any element will be popped out. Okay. Then we will see how to use this clear. Clear. Now if I try to clear, now my set 1 contains all these elements. Now I am trying to use clear. There is another method called clear. My set 1 dot clear. So if I mention like this, my set 1 dot clear, and if I check my set 1, so it is an empty set. So it has cleared all the elements. So all the elements will get deleted when you use this clear method. So clear method is used to delete all the elements in a set. Okay, so these are pop and clear. So if you are, so we can remove using discard, remove, then you can use pop, or you can remove all the elements using clear method. So these are the references. Thank you.